My first goal as a dividend growth investor was to make €100 each and every month from dividends. I'm going to show you how I've done that with 6 European companies. So let's get straight to it. So I'll start with my highest paying dividend company and I'll work my way down to my lowest paying dividend company. And the first one on the list is BASF, ticker symbol BAS. Now BASF operates as a chemical company worldwide. It operates through 6 main segments: chemicals, materials, industrial solutions, surface technologies, nutrition and care, and agricultural solutions. And basically it makes money by selling a wide range of chemical products and solutions to all these different industries. Now BASF currently trades at €46.17, which gives them a huge dividend yield of 7.36%. Now I own 100 shares of this company. My yield on cost is around 5.6%. So I have seen a little bit of share price depreciation on this, but they are my top company. The total dividend that I will receive from BASF is €340. So I earn a nice dividend from them. I'm not expecting too much growth. They've held it steady for 2022, but as you can see, the 3 and 5 and 10 year growth rates are quite low as well. So the yield is quite high. If we look at some of the analyst estimates, I know I'm down a little bit. I think I have an average price of around €50. And that's excluding any option premium I got for them. And we can see that the consensus, the average price expected is around €54. So I'm happy to hold on to these guys in the short term and pick up that nice 5.6% dividend yield. My second highest European dividend company is Shell PLC, and they are a British multinational oil and gas company headquartered in London. They used to be called Royal Dutch Shell, but they've moved their headquarters from the Netherlands over to the UK, so now they lose that Royal Dutch part. But for those of you that listen to the podcast, Shell has always been one of my personal favourite companies. So we spoke many times on the podcast, and I've also wrote articles on Shell, and I believe they are a well managed company. They did cut the dividend back in 2020, but at the time I decided to hold on to them. I felt it was the right thing to do. We've had lots of oil crises over the years. 2018 was the last one, and then even in 2020. So it was a good time for them to actually try and preserve some capital. But since then, they've really started to grow it again through dividends, but also share buybacks, and they've paid down that debt massively over the last 2 to 3 years as well. They're currently trading at around €26.29 and have a dividend yield of 3.79%. My yield on cost on these guys is around 7.4%, and I was buying them quite aggressively actually when they dipped in share price around 2020. So I own 250 shares of Shell, which gives me a total dividend of €287, as they pay €1.15 every single year. So that gives me a current yearly total of €627 from BASF and Shell. The third company on my list is Unilever PLC. Now Unilever again is a British multinational consumer goods company headquartered in London, and similar to Shell, they've actually moved their headquarters from the Netherlands to London. Now I did do a video on Unilever recently. I will put a link to it somewhere up here, but again, it's a company that I think it is a quality company, but there's some question marks over management. Now the CEO Alan Yopi is on his way out, and Heinz Schumacher is coming in. So I'm on the fence about this company. They've not really shown really good growth over the last 3 to 4 years. Management has been quite questionable. They do have some good solid foundations, and their dividend history is quite strong, even though they've held it steady for 2023. So I'm going to give the new CEO a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, and to see what he's going to do to turn around this company. But honestly, I would not be too enthusiastic about buying lots and lots of shares of this company. I currently own 150 shares of Unilever at a dividend per share price in euro of €1.64. That gives me a total overall dividend from Unilever of €246 and brings my running total to €873 in dividends per year from BASF, Shell and Unilever. So my fourth largest company is NN Group, ticker symbol NN. Now, if you've listened to my last couple of videos, particularly my portfolio reviews, you will know that I've been buying these guys up over the last 2 months. They account currently for €128 in dividends, and I have them at a starting yield of 7.3%. So over the last couple of weeks, we've seen what's going on with the markets, particularly in the financial sector. There's a lot of unrest, there's a lot of uncertainty. We've seen banks literally go bust. We've seen Credit Suisse in a lot of trouble. So the financial sector as a whole is a risky proposition to be in at the moment. And although I don't feel like NN Group is particularly in the blast zone, they do hold a substantial amount of their investment portfolio in bonds. So that is something to just be aware of. Again, I think they're safe. I think their dividend is safe, but I would implore you to do your own research. So they are currently trading at around €34 and their dividend yield is 8.11%. And as we can see, their annualized growth rates are quite strong at 12% last year and 10% over the last 5 years. So it'll be interesting to watch and see what they do over the next couple of weeks. The fifth company that pays me dividend from a European perspective is Orange, ticker symbol ORA. Now, Orange is basically a French telecommunications company. Think of AT&T, but based in France. So I have to give you full disclosure here. I write about this company for Sure Dividend. So I'm not too sure if you heard of Sure Dividend before, but they are a research platform for dividend paying companies. Mostly for US based companies, I must say, but they do have companies that trade on the US exchanges such as ADRs, and Orange is obviously one of them. I would recommend you to check out the website. They do offer lots of free information, and if you fancy signing up to read their research, including mine, I believe that it is well worth it. But as I write about these guys for sure, I won't mention a whole lot about them here, but what I will say is that Orange is a mature company with high levels of competition. Even though they do generate a lot of cash flow, their legacy core business is declining and they need to spend a lot of capex and a lot of money going into new areas. And they can only really grow their competition by forcing a price war and lowering business margins. So it is high risk. For me, this is a yield play. My expected return over the next 5 years is in around 10%. So we'll see how well that pays out. But I would just be careful if you're investing in these guys. There's probably much better options out there. For me, it was pretty much all about the yield. And as I said, from my analysis with Sure Dividend, I actually believe in the next 5 years they actually have some good headwinds as well. So let's see how that plays out. But at the moment, they still pay me €120. The sixth company on my list, and I honestly thought these would be a lot higher than they were, is Ahold Delhaize. Ahold Delhaize is a Dutch multinational retail and wholesale holding company. And if you're from the United States, you probably never heard of this company in your life. But you would be surprised to know that a lot of their revenue comes from the United States, from companies like Food Lion. Ahold is currently trading at €30.64 with a dividend yield of 3.85%. I currently own 100 shares of this company with a dividend on cost of 4.2%, and it gives me roughly €105 in dividends every year. So those of you that listen to the podcast will know that we are great believers in Ahold Delhaize. They have a nice starting yield of 3.87%, but if you look at that annualized growth, it's been pretty solid over the last 10 years. Your 10-year growth rate is in around 7.56%. And you can see even last year they've increased their dividend by 10.53%. So it's a company I definitely recommend that you check out. It's a really nice company, compounds really nicely, grows dividend like clockwork every year, and has some nice brands. And you will be surprised to know how many of them you will know within the United States. So there you have it, 6 companies that pay me a total of €1,226 each year. That is just over €100 every single month. I hope you liked this video. If you do and you've stuck around this long, thank you so much, and please consider hitting that like button and subscribing. See you next time.